The Celtics, Wizards, and Clippers are finalizing on a 3-team deal that's going to see Kristaps Porzingis going to the Celtics, Malcolm Brogdon going to the Clippers, Marcus Morris, and draft picks going to the Wizards. Let's break it down. Who wins and loses this trade for the upcoming season? First, I want to start off by looking at what the Celtics got because they're the team that got the biggest piece in this deal, Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis actually had a very underrated season last year. This past season, he averaged 23 points per game, which would be a career high for him, and he shot on 49.8% from the field, which is also a career high, while playing 65 games in the regular season, proving those who say he can't stay healthy wrong. In Kristaps Porzingis, what will he bring to the Celtics? You have those two scorers of Tatum, Brown. He also has a great ability to rebound and just use his height as a strength. And Robert Williams wasn't necessarily the tallest center, but he's also a guy who can space the floor great and play some nice 5-out. He's a great 3-point percentage shooter. Last year, he shot 39% from 3. He's just going to add so many more options to such a lethal team in Boston. And Boston did lose Malcolm Brogdon, who was their sixth man, but they get a guy in Kristaps Porzingis who's elite on offense and adding to one of the best offenses already in the NBA. Another reason the Celtics mainly made this trade is reliability at the big man position. Robert Williams, although fantastic, has his own injury concerns. Al Horford is turning 37, and although he played stellar defense on Joel Embiid in the second round, we don't know how durable his body is going to get as he ages another year. And Grant Williams is an unrestricted free agent who didn't play the best with the Celtics. So now by getting a guy like Porzingis who can space the floor, shoot 5.5 threes a game on some great percentage like near 40%, he's going to add so much both offensively and defensively for the Celtics team who had a very disappointing season. According to ratings, they had the net number 1 offense and defense in the NBA. They were destined for greatness, and everybody thought they were going to go to the finals, especially after a poor showing from Jason Tatum in last year's finals where they lost to the Warriors. I think for the Celtics, it is a high-risk move. Porzingis will have his injury concerns of himself, and you're losing a reliable playmaker and point guard who just won 6th Man of the Year in Malcolm Brogdon, and we don't even know what type of draft compensation they're giving up. So just based on that, I'll give the Celtics a B+ for now, just because we don't know what type of draft compensation, and Malcolm Brogdon is a pretty valuable asset for the Celtics. Next, let's talk about the Clippers, the team that can't have their superstars on the court. Both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are always out with some sort of injury and load management issues, and this team really hasn't been able to blossom and make a deep run in the playoffs no matter how much talent they have on the roster. And the backup point guard position is one where I think Brogdon will be great for the Clippers. Last year, their backup point guards mainly Reggie Jackson and John Wall, two guys who really just didn't have great years. Westbrook was great ever since he came, but Brogdon's going to bring some contrasting basketball at the point guard position compared to Westbrook. Compared to Westbrook, who is very aggressive and is very explosive when he attacks the rim, Brogdon is more of a pure point guard and a pure facilitator. Kawhi and Paul George have been looking for this type of pure facilitator for years, so I think balancing off the strengths of both Westbrook and Brogdon is a great fit for the Clippers. However, Brogdon, like pretty much every other player on the Clippers roster, has his own injury concerns. He missed 15 games last season, and in the past 3 years, he's played just 146 games, which averages to around 49 games per season out of 82. The guy they're giving up, Marcus Morris, has been a great shooter and scorer in the past for the Clippers, but as age and father time has caught up to him, he simply hasn't been that 10 to 15 point scorer they can truly rely on, and his minutes and role really diminished. So Marcus Morris leaving isn't too big of a concern for the Clippers, and they pretty much dealt all their picks out in the Paul George, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trade. So I mean, if any team should go all in at this point, I guess it really is the Clippers, but this core needs to accomplish something this year because you can't just be quoting injuries as some sort of excuse, because you've said injuries for about 4 years now, and you got to get something done with this duo before it's too late. Overall for the Clippers, I'll give the deal a B-. Malcolm Brogdon, nice addition, great backup point guard, a little bit of injury risk there, and draft compensation, we're not too sure, but they might as well just go all in at this point. And finally, the Washington Wizards. Before grading this deal for Washington, we can easily say they're embarking on a rebuild. However, we don't know how to grade this deal. The only guy they're getting is Marcus Morris, and we don't know what type of picks they'll be getting back in this deal. We don't know what protection it has. Is it lottery protected? Is it top 3 protected? We don't know what teams the pick come from, what years the picks are for. Like if it's a near year pick from the Celtics, we know that's going to be practically 25 to 30. However, if it's a pick from like 2029 or something, there's more hope that the Celtics will not be as good, obviously, by then, and you do luck out and actually get a pretty decent pick. But for the Wizards, I think the number one priority here is accumulating draft talent, hitting on the draft talent, and building up around guys like Deni Avdija, who's only 22. Deni Avdija, one of the better players on the team, alongside Daniel Gafford. I am assuming that Chris Paul will eventually get traded to a team like the Lakers. I'm not really sure who, but Chris Paul is not going to stay there long term. This Wizards team is going to be built around guys like Avdija, Daniel Gafford, Corey Kispert. I mean, they have a pretty good pick in this year's draft. We'll see who they use it on and where they go from there. I think overall, I'm going to give the Wizards a C-, but if the picks do look better, maybe it's a C or a C+. However, when you trade Porzingis and Bradley Beal, I think you expect picks back. Luckily, they do get Bradley Beal and Porzingis' big contracts kind of off the books for a bit, so that's good for this team as they have the cap space to truly rebuild. Thank you guys for watching this video and listening to my grades and reactions to the Clippers, Celtics, and Wizards 3-team trade, which sent Porzingis to Boston, Malcolm Brogdon to LA, and Picks and Marcus Morris to Washington. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.